Masters table. Masters table.
Master elements.
Masters table. Masters table.
Racism, white supremacy is a dynamic system for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival on the planet. White supremacy.
You are in an evil system, a system that is designed deliberately to produce evil thoughts, to produce animosity, to produce violence.
Introduction to African civilizations and man-garden civilization.
Masters table. Masters table.
Master elements.
Masters table. Masters table.
Master elements.
We dedicate lives to the study of history.
They didn't tell us that if you give up the land, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation.
The right way is clearly distinct from error.
Racism is a competitive relationship between groups of people who are competing for the ownership and control of resources, wealth, and power.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
Aye.
We's here.
We are here, family. We are here. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love, the GodCast. I am the God Sincere Love, here with my lovely co-host, Nyctee Gurl, on another Sunday evening, afternoon, depending on which coast you are tuning in from. What's going on, everybody?
What's good, everybody? Who in the chat? I'm trying to look to see who's in the chat. That's why I'm looking down, y'all. Y'all see
We got
me
some
doing that. I'll be
folks
trying to
coming
see
up
in
in
the
here.
chat. I'm trying
We
to
got
be
some
nosy up
folks
in the
coming up
chat.
in here. I see y'all piling in the room early. Make sure that y'all hit the like button as you're coming up in here. Share this out on your social media platforms. Let everybody know that we are live with another episode of Sincere Love, the GodCast. Subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, Sincere Love the God, as well as GodCast Enterprises right here on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to both channels and click the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new content. Because we be doing the damn thing over here, family.
We trying to. We be trying.
Some of y'all might be tuning in from Facebook too today. I think we live on Facebook right now too. Shout out to the Facebook family. And man, speaking of Facebook too, I've been going through it with like last week I was out here defending Drake's light skin ass, and all y'all was dog piling on me because I was defending Drake when that whole thing with Drake and Mos Def was going. You know, everybody was talking about that for a minute. Mos Def said Drake is not really hip hop, he's pop. And I said Drake is hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And Drake is pretty dope too. He's pretty dope MC. He's pretty dope artist all around, in my opinion. And I even went as far as to say, if they were to battle, I think Drake would smoke Mos Def. And so you know they was on my ass about that shit. They was all the real.
Do you really think that?
Yeah, I really think that. But what I was saying was, you know, if they both was to go in the studio and make diss tracks and come out with diss songs against each other, I think Drake would win that battle. But if they was to stand on stage and just battle head to head, that's a different thing. I think Mos Def would give Mos the edge in that situation. But if they both coming out with diss songs against each other, I think Drake will win, because the thing about battles that most people don't really look at or understand is it doesn't matter who's the better rapper or the better MC necessarily. You know what I'm saying? It's all about strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think in this day and age, with the memes and all the shit that goes on the internet, I don't think Mos Def is prepared for all that. Like Drake is Drake. You know what I'm saying?
He did whoop Meek Mill's ass in that battle. He said
Exactly.
Twitter finger. Yeah, when he did the Twitter fingers.
Exactly.
That right there, like everybody was playing that heavy out here. Like every time he said something, he was getting hit with that. Is that a world tour or your girls tour? When he said that,
you know what I'm saying? And now, you know, Mos Def ain't no Meek Mill. I should say Meek Mill ain't no Mos Def.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But still,
I'm not a Meek Mill fan.
I know people wasn't expecting that. When that went down, I know people wasn't expecting him to get washed up by Drake like that. You're getting bodied by a singing nigga.
Wow.
Niggas wasn't expecting that.
That part. When he said that part, that was like that right there, like mic dropped. Now, the question, you know, as a hip hop artist yourself, as a hip hop artist yourself, as an MC yourself, as a fan of hip hop, as a student of hip hop, all these things, right? Is Meek Mill a good rapper or?
Meek Mill is okay. Meek Mill is okay.
Yeah, okay.
You know, he's cool. He ain't whack. He ain't nobody special to me. You know, he ain't no top lyricist or nothing like that. But he okay. You know, Meek Mill is
top 10.
Huh?
Top 10?
No, not even close. No.
I just want to make sure I wasn't tripping.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But he not trash though. He not trash.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He good money. But yeah, I was like, man, if you put Drake and Lil Wayne against Mos Def and Talib Kweli, come on, y'all really think them backpack niggas gonna be able to do something with them boys? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. You can say what you want to say about Drake, you know what I'm saying, his light-skinned ways and all that. You can say what you want to say about Wayne, cooning it up with Kamala Harris and all of that shit too. You know what I mean? But when it comes to getting on that microphone, so them boys get busy. That's all I was saying.
Right.
And so that was going crazy all last week, especially on Facebook. But yesterday, I think it was, I put up a post about Eminem. And I wasn't even expecting so much pushback from that post. But damn, people come out the woodworks to defend Eminem.
Massa.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yo, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting the way niggas come out to defend Eminem's punk ass. Or, you know, it was another dude, blogger, I don't know who it was, but it was like a meme that he made talking about all of the people that Eminem really went after in his career. And it wasn't really no top MCs, nobody really reputable that he ever really went against. And so I just reposted that like, yeah, I've been saying this for years. And so people started coming at me crazy to the point where even, you probably don't know who Mickey Fax is, but Mickey Fax is a rapper. He's a known rapper and he's nice. He's a real dope MC, you know what I'm saying? But he's a well-known rapper, you know what I'm saying? He works with all of these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Royce the 5'9" and Black Thought and all these people, like, you know, he's in the industry. This nigga ends up on my timeline defending Eminem. I'm like, where'd you come from, Mickey Fax?
Wow.
Like, God damn. I didn't even know you was following me. You ain't never commented on or engaged with none of my content. Well, all of a sudden I say something about Eminem, and we had a respectful back and forth, you know what I'm saying? But I was still like, damn, like, nigga, where you come from? I didn't even know you was following me.
It's the white Jesus complex that niggas still have. I'm sorry. Like, you know, it really is. It's sad. Like, they'll go at the head, you know, of a nice MC that, you know, shared the same uniform as them, but you cannot talk bad about Massam M.
Can't say nothing bad about Eminem. I'm talking about niggas and literally in my comments talking about leave Eminem alone. Leave Eminem alone. Like,
the same Negroes, though, have probably had something negative to say about Diddy, though.
Right.
You know, publicly, you know, publicly, you know what I'm saying? You know, quick, you know, to shun him, but leave Master M alone.
So yeah, man. But I've been having fun with it though. You know what I'm saying? I don't get too caught up with the back and forths and all that stuff on social media. I'll be having fun with y'all guys, man. Some of y'all be getting in y'all feelings and taking shit real personal. I'm over here having fun with my little Twitter fingers and shit. I ain't really getting caught up with y'all like that, man. I like who I like. Y'all like who y'all like. Y'all worship who y'all worship. I am a God. That's how that goes.
It is an eye opener though. You know, just where we are, you know, as a group, you know, as it pertains to, you know, us being on one accord as a group versus, you know, we have, I feel like a lot of disagreeing more than agreeing on a lot of things, especially as it pertains to, you know, politics, which is important, you know, and as well as hip hop and you know, white people in hip hop and the Latinos in hip hop.
Speaking of hip hop, you went to the hip hop museum out there in LA. What, yesterday?
Yes, that was yesterday. The Hip Hop Till Infinity. Yeah,
Hip Hop Till Infinity. Mass Appeal, Nas and Mass Appeal. They got this hip hop museum going on in LA. I guess between now and March, it's going to be out there.
It's in Hollywood.
Where's it at? Let people know where they can go check it out.
It's right in Hollywood, right on Sunset and Ivar. You know, it's cool. I was talking to Sincere about it off camera. It was cool. You know, when you walk in, they have this like dark room that you're walking in, but this projector thing is on there, and it's like giving up the 5 pillars, you know, of hip hop. So you see that as soon as you walk in, and once you make that little quick right, you know, in there's something else on there, and then it starts, you know, with the turntables, old school turntables, and the, you know, the records, you know, the graffiti, you know, being in the booth, the old school booth. So they did have some of this old stuff that I wasn't familiar with. I had to read the thing. I was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? But I guess that's how they would record, you know, back in the days. It was just mainly like pictures on the wall, you know, old school not album covers, but magazine covers. A lot of the old school flyers that they would be handing out, I guess, when people were in town, you know, the old school way. We didn't have Ticketmaster, you know, back then. So you heard about it by flyers, you know, and word of mouth or on the radio. So they had that stuff. One of the coolest things that I saw in there was the doggy style room, or, you know, this whole display in there for Snoop Dogg. They had this big old dog house with a doggy bowl, some chucks that was hanging up over the what do you call that? You know, electrical wires. You see that all through LA out here. Yeah. So they had that, you know, some of his khaki suits and stuff like that, some earphones or whatever with some old school, where his music playing through it, projectors and stuff. I thought that room was dope. And then there was this huge, like massively big, like huge warehouse area, and all the walls were filled with this projector, and it was basically giving the origin of hip hop from the beginning all the way up to where we are right now, which is, you know, the AI, you know, and things like that. They were playing music. That part was cool. Other than that, I just feel like, you know, it was cool. It wasn't overwhelming, underwhelming. It was just all right to me, in my opinion. I love the little where you can go and buy, you know, artifacts and stuff like that. Our t-shirts, they had a store in there. And as soon as you walk in, you're in the Marathon store. And I thought that that was so dope because it literally looks like his Marathon store, you know, the wall stuff, you know, the merch, that how they had it, you know, stacked in there as if it was his store. So I thought that that tribute was super, super dope. There were several Nipsey, you know, tributes inside of the museum. I thought that was dope. The store itself was cool. I left with a few things. But again, it wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't super underwhelming. Like literally you can get through that whole thing. And honestly, if you're looking at that whole thing.
On the website, it says 90 minutes.
How much?
90 minutes.
Mm-mm.
It don't even take that much time?
30 minutes. You can be out of there in 30 minutes, literally, honestly.
So it's probably like the Trap Museum down here. TI, the Trap Museum. And, you know, it was a small little space, but, you know, I thought it was fly. You know what I'm saying? The way they had things set up and contributed to, you know, all the trap artists and all of that. So it's probably something like that.
This one is huge. This is huge. When you walk in inside or from the outside going in, you can't tell how big, massively big it is on the inside. It's huge. I don't think it's like the Trap Museum, which I think will probably be better, the Trap Museum, even though it's smaller. I just felt like this one, it was cool to go, but 30 minutes you can be finished and out of there. We were not there an hour, and we walked that whole thing probably twice. To be honest, talking to other people in there. We stopped. We're taking pictures. We're doing video, everything, and I don't know if we were there an hour, to be honest.
Now, what were some of the things you were disappointed about? Or didn't like?
Okay, so there was this area in there, and it was trying to give, some of the origins, it was hip hop, as well as the lowriding thing, right? Lowriders, the history of lowriders, and they credited Latinos on that. And I just feel like
lowrider culture was started by Latinos, is what they were saying?
That was started by Latinos, yes. They got that part.
I really don't know. I can't argue. I don't know. That's more of a West Coast thing. We didn't really do that on the East Coast. We never got into it.
They got it from us. They literally got it from us. I remember as a kid, my brother had a glass house. My brother had an Impala. My brother had a Regal. Like, that is just hip hop. That's the culture. I don't even say it's necessarily hip hop culture. I'm sure it's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? But I remember growing up, and I'm an 80s baby, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, seeing brothers doing that, and they saw it, and then they started to do it too. Yes. They started to fix up their cars and things like that. Yes. But I just feel like even if you go back to even some of the pimp era, and I've never seen real pimps in my real life, but when you go to those pimp movies, the old cars, you know what I'm saying? They may not have had the hydraulics and things like that on it yet, but they had the rims. Yeah, it's still Black culture. And so that was the part I was like, okay, which I wasn't surprised to see that. Even when you're looking at the whole, thing where they was talking about the history of hip hop, I want to say the guy that they had talking was a Puerto Rican. And they was Black and brown, and, the whole talking points, on that thing was Black and brown. It wasn't like, this is FBA culture. And so I actually sent the video to Tariq myself. I was like, yo, you got to hurry up with the microphone check, because, we do have to get some straightening. It's a lot of straightening. And again, it's not to say that these people did not contribute to it or, add to it. I'm not saying that it's not a diss, you know what I'm saying? But it originated with us, and it was no 50-50. And so you kind of see the 50-50 thing as when you walk in.
So I might have to remind folks that me and RP Beats was calling this out way ahead of time. We kind of saw this coming. Hold on, let me share my screen with y'all real quick. Pull up these receipts. You know what I'm saying? Because this is why it's important to stay in tune with new Black media. This is why it's important to stay in tune with new Black media, because we can't afford to be behind the curve. We got to be ahead of the curve when it comes to these things. And we having this cultural revolution as it pertains to foundational Black Americans and us putting up the gates and claiming our cultural contributions to the world and all of that. And so, these things are important. And so here's some of the lyrics to the song we did on the Masters Table album. Y'all could go to the Masters RSVP and get your Masters Table merch and all of that stuff right now too. If you want to get this t-shirt that I'm rocking right now with all the Master Teachers on it, y'all could definitely go check that out and order your t-shirts, hoodies, whatever. But on one of these verses right here, I was addressing Nas. Now, the museum that she's talking about, again, it's a museum that's being put on a little bit by Nas and his company Mass Appeal. Because I got too many tabs open probably. Yeah. Am I good now?
Say something again.
1 2 1 2. Am I good or am I delayed? I think fine. I might be delayed.
Yeah, it was delayed.
All right, cool. So I don't know if y'all can see the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all can see the lyrics, but in the verse, I was disappointed hearing Nas rhyme with Lil Nas X. I realized these guys never valued our respect. And so at the end of the verse, I said, because, you mentioned something else about the people that was working there, Nyctee?
Oh, yeah. From the time so once you walk up, I purchased my tickets online. So I just had the QR code, so I walked up with my phone. They're scanning my phone or whatever. 2 Asians at the door and greeting us in there. Not one Black employee except for one Black security guard that I believe worked for Securitas. So that was like a 1 day or weekend contract job that this female, had, and all white people, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Okay. And so in the verse, we're gonna do a little bit of lyrical breakdown right here. Because in the verse, I said, your venture capital portfolio was pure genius, like the Lyrical Annotation Act. And this is the website that I'm on right now, Genius. That's what I was talking about. This is one of the websites that, he was part of the startup funding for this company and all of that. And so your venture capital portfolio was pure genius, like the Lyrical Annotation Act. Your ways and actions made you look, remember he had a song called Made You Look like you the smartest nigga that came from rap. But you was caping for Asian hate. Who you said was working in there?
At the door. That's who you're going to see first is them, Asians. At the door.
But you was caping for Asian hate. That propaganda put Black America in a scope. Inflation rates got us getting gentrified. I thought you would mention our fight for reparations, but you rep for Asians. I question why. And since you're working on the hip hop museum, Latinos and Caribbeans claiming our culture, you agreeing? Or will you hold the fort down, represent to the fullest? So we saw this coming a mile away, family.
A mile away.
I'm just saying.
That's exactly what it was. I'm talking like, again, I think I've seen one female, I don't know if she was security or whatever, she was like, because they had some of the old lowrider bikes, and they were just sitting there. So we were asking before we touch and stuff like that, like the death row, chair thing that I was sitting on the photos. We were asked, are we okay to sit on this and take pictures and stuff like that? So I did ask her, are we okay to sit on the lowrider bike? If I can take a picture of my son. And she was like, no, you can't sit on those. We were like, cool. We just took a picture or, standing in front of it, basically. She said that was okay. That was the only Black person that I saw in the entire thing. And we walked that bitch again twice, maybe 3 times. And yeah, no Black people in there. Honestly, most of the people that came to visit were Black people, though. And I'll say maybe a handful of others, maybe, not even probably a full hand, but it was pretty much us, that was going to visit it, I would say, but not us working there at all. Then my son, mind you, he walked, you saw his outfit. We go in to buy, what we were, purchasing or whatever. And the girl, little white girl back there, she was like, oh, he still keeps the tags on his hats. He never takes them off. But you guys know that you're not selling this hat. It's not here. Oh, he's, got his jacket up there that he's purchasing or whatever. And she was like, oh, and are you gonna, did you want us to put that hat in the bag too? He was like, I walked in here with this on, like, and y'all don't sell this here. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, little Amber, fall back.
Man, that goes to show that you're really not in tune with the culture.
Yeah.
Because if you were, niggas keep those tags on the hats, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm like, but they don't even sell that hat there. Everything that they were selling there had something to do with hip hop artists and stuff like that.
Right.
He wore like a team hat. I don't remember which team it was. It's some football team. So why did you not know that?
Right.
She was about to charge him for his hat again.
But anyway, man, B1 to the family, B1. See y'all coming up in the chat. Shout out to Jesse Paris, Soul Flow, Kevin Blackwell, Peter Ogun, Mama Love is in the building. Crew Royality. I always say your name wrong, brother. I be getting your name wrong. I think it's Crew Royality, right? Shout out to you always on the check-in, showing love. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, we came on a little bit later than usual today. We usually here on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. But I had some things to do around the house. And then I was having technical difficulties when we was trying to get set up. My camera died on me, all type of stuff. So we came on a little bit later, but we here though. And we appreciate y'all tapping in with us. So again, make sure that y'all hitting the like button, share this out on social media. Let everybody know we about to get busy. Today, we are talking about the illegal migrants receiving all types of unearned benefits and privileges that foundational Black Americans have never had access to, and we've been in this country longer than anybody else. So that's the main topic that we're going to be getting into today. I know y'all been seeing all the madness going on around the country, different cities, all of these sanctuary cities and all of that, where tens of thousands of migrants are being flown in, bussed in, they hopping off of boats and
parachute in.
I seen niggas getting out the back of a garbage truck, some other kind of was it a train or something? Like they was like inside like the engine of the it was crazy.
They do a lot of crazy stuff.
So they just getting over here any way that they can. And the minute that they show up, family, the minute that they show up, they're being elevated above you and I and our family. They're being funded. They're being given housing. They're given job training, all types of resources, benefits, and privileges. And they putting them on a fast track to become voters, police officers, all type of shit.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to get into that today. Illegal migrants are receiving unearned benefits and privileges as we speak. So what we going to do about it is the question. Because
and also, are they migrants or invaders? Like, I'm serious. Like, and this is literally me not just saying things just to be saying it, to, be provocative or whatever. But this is an illegal invasion. All these are not migrants and asylum seekers and things like that. This is an illegal invasion. And I think that we should use the right terminology because that's what it is. History has shown us these things as well. And we have to really call this what it is. This is an anti-Black illegal invasion because they're placing these people here in our neighborhoods. They're giving them jobs on police departments to police our neighborhoods. I don't know if any of you guys saw that illegal alien up in Chicago calling that Black sister that was, complaining, standing there as she should at those city councilman meetings complaining, about this illegal invasion. And he called her lazy and no more money for you. Lazy, who told him that? You've been in Mexico or wherever the hell you came from for how long? You haven't even encountered us. You've never been around us. So who told you that we're lazy? And what you mean no more money for you? You know
yes,
what I'm
indeed.
So it is what it is. I'm gonna call them illegal invaders and illegal aliens, and that's it. That's for me.
And you're absolutely right. And I should have hit you up when I was making the title and all of that because I couldn't even think of the right term. I wanted to use the right terminology.
Right.
It wasn't coming to me. So I might have to change the title after we get off the live here so we can have the correct terminology because you're absolutely right. It is important that we take control of the narrative and we call it for what it is. And like you said, you're not saying that just to be provocative. That's a reality. That's
Look
reality.
What Texas is doing.
Right. That's exactly where I was going. And that's the thing about it, right? When we speak this truth and we call it for what it really is, the play is always to make us Trump supporters, we Republicans, we MAGA and all of this. They one-trick ponies. They use the same trick over and over again every single time. And we got to have that not give a fuck in us. You know what I'm saying? To just stand on our square and stand on truth. You know what I'm saying? And not be bothered by that. Call me what you want to call me. I'm just telling the truth the way that I see it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like you were saying down there in Texas, what's going on down there in Texas?
Right. It's crazy. But yeah, in the city of Texas, I can think of their governor's name, but he's out here, he's talking about calling the National Guard. They're already talking about, at least these are rumors that are circulating around the social media streets, but they're even talking about a civil war. You mean to tell me y'all talking about a civil war, because some illegal aliens over here trying to get through our borders illegally to suck up more resources? We don't know no background checks on these people at all. Here in California, where I am, our governor already laid the groundwork. It's one day here, they already can get medical benefits. With free medical. I know Black people right now who don't get free medical, who need dental work and things like that, and can't walk into one of these dental offices and get free work done. Suffering, and they're the descendants of the people that built this country.
Facts. So yeah, that's Governor Greg Abbott down there in Texas.
There you go, Abbott. I couldn't think of it.
They basically having a standoff right now with the Biden administration. the Biden administration, they're fighting over, who has authority over the border down there in Texas. And so the governor is claiming, it's the state's rights to protect the border. And Biden is saying, the federal, the bully pulpit that he holds overrides those states' rights. And so the governor down there, he putting up barbed wire fences and all type of stuff and putting border control out there. And they done snatched up a bunch of people already, thousands of people already. They're snatched up at the border already. And so now Biden is trying to take the fences down and, override the laws and the policies that the governor is putting in place. So they going back and forth about that. And the governor put out this letter a couple days ago, January 24th. I'll read a little bit of it. Y'all can go check it out. But the federal government has broken the compact between the United States and the states. The executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal laws protecting states, including, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws, and he even violated them. The result is that he has smashed records for illegal immigration. And so, like I said, y'all can go check out and read the entire letter itself. But yeah, they're not having it down there in Texas. And if anybody knows the history of Texas, Texas is damn near its own country, y'all. Texas is like damn near its own country. Like, I ain't even exaggerating when I say that. Like, they got their own grid, like energy grid and all of that stuff. Like, they're not connected with the rest of the country in a lot of different ways. And so they run shit the way that they want to run shit down there. And they got a lot of them hillbillies down there that's with the shits. A lot of those militia groups and all of that stuff, they really with the shits. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be real interesting to see how this thing plays out going forward, especially down there in Texas.
I hope that Texas hold the line on it, to be honest. I hope that they hold the line, and, push back against the Biden administration, because the Biden administration, you're not the one who has to deal with this stuff. You're not dealing with it because they're not in your neighborhood. They're not affecting you. You and your family are good, but it is affecting the American people, specifically, and most importantly, foundational Black Americans, but also the American people, period. You have other Mexicans, at least the ones out here, they don't even want them here. Talk to them. They don't want them here.
Even down there at the Texas border, a lot of the marshals and stuff that's down there protecting the border are Mexicans. They Mexican Americans that came here legally. You have Mexican Americans who went about things the right way, came over here legally, and they're complaining about these open borders that's going on. And so, yeah, Reality, he's talking about, Reality. Crew Reality. Now I think I'm saying it right. He said, SCOTUS order said Texas must let customs cut the wire, but it did not say they cannot put up more wire. The agents on the ground said they are not cutting the wire. So yeah, like they like.
But I've seen video where they have. I've seen video out there where the border gate is just open, just sitting there wide open. There's video out there where some of the agents are grabbing their hand, pulling them through. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you said, especially out here, again, I can only speak for where I'm from. The San Diego, in San Diego, you're close to the Mexican border. We used to go to San Diego all the time. Back in the summertime, we would park in San Diego, but walk over into Tijuana because the party scene over there was dope as heck. Like, literally, you pay $5 to get in and drink free all night. But and it was like all of the, San Diego has a huge military, area. So all the Black people, in San Diego will go over there, and party. So out here, most of your people that's supposed to protect the borders, all of them are Mexicans. They're the only ones who are getting those jobs. You guys, the Border Patrol out here are all Hispanic. So to me, that's a conflict of interest. That's a conflict of interest to me.
You think it's a control opposition type of thing?
Absolutely, because you do not see any Black, Border Patrol agents. It's predominantly Hispanic, just like here with the police department. Same thing.
And also, let's be clear, it's not just Hispanics that are coming over here across that border either. They coming through Mexico, But it's not just Mexicans. You got Asians coming through there.
The
You got
Chinese
coming through there. You got all different people who see what's popping. They see that the border is wide open, and they just going through Mexico to come on through.
Right.
And like you said, these people are unvetted. You know what I'm saying? And they're being fast tracked and they're being funded. I believe. Again, we all know that the white supremacists play both sides. So I believe it's a good cop, bad cop thing that's going on.
Absolutely.
It's all of this is being allowed to happen by both sides. You know what I'm saying? It's controlled outrage. It's not really nobody doing anything for real to stop this from going on. Because these people are coming over here by the thousands daily.
The way that we know that they're doing it on purpose is because there's a huge difference in what they're doing with these migrants versus what they did with those Haitian migrants. They were out and back in Haiti within 48 hours. You know, Abbott, you know, allowing them into the U.S. just to drop them off at Kamala Harris's place or something. What is that doing? You still gave them a fast track in here. You know what I'm saying? So why aren't you guys shipping them back as you guys did with those goddamn Haitians? I want to see planes, trains, and automobiles sending them back too.
They basically just giving them a free ride to get to these luxury tents and all the stuff that they got set up for them, where they got Xboxes and they getting 3 meals a day and they got Netflix and all type of shit. They making them real comfortable. And I want to play this this one video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's it's
not far. It's right above where I am. One above that.
Yeah, I see it. I got it. So this is like a what do you call it? A collage of different news clips. So fair use. We doing commentary on here. So fair use. But this is a collage of a bunch of news clips, basically, you know, detailing what we're talking about here. So people don't think we just whistling Dixie.
Immigrants became eligible for health insurance under the state's program for low-income residents.
A newly signed law will now let non-U.S. citizens become police officers.
That would allow non-citizens to become police officers here in Illinois.
Chicago reportedly diverting almost $100 million in COVID relief funds to help pay for migrant.
When it comes to these people, money just appears.
Right.
Money and resources just magically appear.
No study needed.
Care. Migrants were flown here on a private plane.
Well, look. On a private plane? On a private plane. Who's funding that?
Right.
Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, now a public shelter for migrants.
Not the Motel 6 or the Super 8. Luxury hotels. They putting them up 5-star. And they getting in there and they tearing the place up. They got prostitution, you know, people running around drunk, high on all type of shit. Crime is spiking in the area wherever these people show up at. All of this is being allowed to happen specifically just to undermine us, foundational Black Americans. That's the only reason. There's no other reason outside of that. We got to do something to undermine foundational Black Americans because they see that many of us are getting codified and we are not supporting these democratic policies anymore. We looking inward and looking at ourselves and doing for self, and they have to try to stitch together a new base to support the Democrats because we're the base for the Democrats. They literally cannot win an election without the Black vote. So they're trying to stitch together a new voting constituency to replace us. That's all this is about, 100%.
Phoenix Airport, and there are migrants everywhere. They're receiving priority boarding. They're skipping security lines. They have their own security area.
So city officials just.
So when they show up at the airport, they don't got to go through the regular TSA line like we got to go through and go through the same checking ports that we got to go through. They got special, you know what I'm saying? They got special access They don't got no ID, that's fine. They don't got no paperwork, that's fine. They ain't got to go through none of the security points that we got to go through.
Right. And we could be letting terrorists into this country and not. We know that they have terrorists as sleeper cells here already. You know, they probably getting more reinforcement through these borders.
Soul Flow said, I think I'm going to transition into a, quote, trans immigrant. So that I can capitalize off of these benefits, clear my debt, and get a new credit score. Right.
You know what? I think that we should start a massive movement, you know, and start applying for these benefits. And when it gets to, you know, your ethnicity or you're a migrant and all that stuff, put trans migrant. Let's try.
I identify as a migrant. I
identify, yes, because all you have to do is feel it, right? You only have to feel like a migrant. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like one. So let's see if we can get some of these resources.
Right, Cool Keezy. Cool Keezy said many of them are coming over here looking for Trump hats, and that's the quagmire that the Democrats are finding themselves in now, because all of these people are being allowed to do all of this based on Democratic policies, right? But the minute that they get their weight up, they turn around, put on a MAGA hat.
Right.
And so again, like I said, they're trying to replace us, but that's kind of backfiring on them.
And it does.
That's
every single
backfiring on
time.
them.
But they would rather invest in these people and give them everything that they need versus working with the people with their current base, which was Black America until they lost us, you know. But they would rather pour all those resources to anyone else other than us. Like, how much more anti-Black can it be?
Right. Anybody but us. What's going on down there? What's going on over there in Denver, Cool Keezy? Cool Keezy said they're coming over there too. What's going on in Denver? Fill us in.
They want to be in the cold.
Just took us on a tour of the new humanitarian relief center.
These tents are climate controlled, complete with phones, laundry service, even Xboxes and sofas where migrants can watch flat screen TVs.
Tonight, the Justice Department demanding Texas remove the barriers, the White House calling them dangerous and unlawful.
There are hundreds of those shipping containers all along the Arizona-Mexico border. The Department of Justice is now suing the state of Arizona for refusing to take them down.
These people filing lawsuits. They willing to go to war. They're willing to have a civil war over some non-citizens.
Right.
And they won't lift a finger for a freedman.
No. And don't forget, a few weeks back, we were talking about, which is on whitehouse.gov. You guys can check that out on your own at whitehouse.gov. But it says, together, we're taking a balanced approach that lies at the heart of the Los Angeles Declaration on Migration and Protection. And we have 19 other nations have signed on to that agreement. So it includes enforcing our borders, increasing reparations, and opening a historic number of legal pathways for migrants. So they're even talking about, the White House is talking about reparations for these people who are invading our country.
And when they say
our reparations claim,
when they say reparations for them, they ain't talking about education. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about
signs and commas. It's dollar signs and commas.
Gift cards and shit. They ain't talking about no goddamn Piggly Wiggly gift cards. They talking about money, housing, tangibles.
I mean, they're coming over here and getting free job training. So that's education right there.
Just waiting. And by that standard, 11 million undocumented aliens are already Americans, in my view.
So he said, and that was before the election, he was saying, by his standard, the 11 million undocumented migrants, as he calls them, are already Americans in his view. And remember, he told us. So all of the people that got buyer's remorse now, all of the vote blue, no matter who people that got buyer's remorse now, and they out here complaining like, you know, Biden didn't do what he said he was going to do. Oh, no, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
And here it is. I just put it in the
material. I got it. Okay. Got it right here. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Let me get over here. Let me get over here. He told y'all exactly what he was going to do. He wasn't playing. Hold on.
Minority white European.
Hold on. Let me rewind that
By
back.
2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
And some Biden temper.
Well, let me bring that back.
By 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
So that's what this is all about, family. That's what this is all about.
Survival.
Those white birth rates are on a decline. Not enough white babies being born all around the world, but in this country specifically, not enough white babies being born. White people are dying faster than they can replenish their numbers. So what they're doing now, putting all of these people, Hispanics specifically, on a fast track to gain citizenship, these open border policies and all of that, put them through a hazing process to get them acclimated into whiteness. This is just history repeating itself. They did the same thing with the Italians. They did the same thing with Jewish people. They did the same thing with the Irish. These people weren't considered white initially. They had to go through a hazing process. And the way that they got to prove themselves is to show how anti-black they can be. That's how they get their white card. Proving how anti-black they can be.
There's also this article, speaking of birth rates, on BET.com. It says the Black population has grown by 32%, according to a new research. This is effective as of January 23rd, 2024. The Black population is on the rise in the United States. From 2002 to 2022, the Black population has grown 32%, which amounts to 11 million people. In total, there are almost 48 million Black people in the country, according to a research study conducted by the Pew Research Center. Now, when they're talking about Black people, I don't know if they're necessarily specifically talking about foundational Black Americans, or, melanated people, in general. However, I still say they've already known, that we haven't stopped having babies. I see pregnant Black women all the time, you know what I'm saying? But they've always ran with that narrative that we're only 13, 14% of the population, and Black people have believed it for so long, even without looking around to see what's around you. But we've been, going with that narrative. And if they're admitting to 32%, it's more than that, right?
Exactly. And so where all of the different ways that we have been under attack, you know what I'm saying? Our genetics, our economics, our education, we've been under just constant attack in many different ways. The medical industry, the financial industry, the educational institutions. We've been under all of this attack, and they like, damn, these motherfuckers ain't going nowhere. How is their numbers still growing? We got all these Black men incarcerated. We done gave them all types of diseases. We done gave these people, we done flooded their neighborhoods with drugs. They talk about all this Black on Black crime, and we killing each other, and then the police is killing us, and got all of these extrajudicial taking place. Black people are just under attack, being slaughtered left and right and center, but somehow we still growing in numbers. So they scratching their head like, who the hell are these people? What are they made of?
Right. Are they mutants?
What are they made of? They won't go away. We don't die, we multiply.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We baby's kids.
And so let me just show y'all this real quick while we on the topic of Biden and his punk ass Let me just throw this in here because this is what we get, family. While everybody else gets all these other images that we done laid out, this is what we get. Now, last week, I think we showed y'all Biden went to Eric's house. Remember Biden went to Eric's house with some fried chicken from the cookout? Y'all, I don't know if y'all tuned in last week. Make sure y'all catch the replay. We talked about Biden went to some Negro's house named Eric and had some cookout. They had some fried chicken and some sweet tea. And they talked about, what did they talk about again? I think they talked about education. Reparations. Yeah, I forgot what they talked about, what they said they talked to him about. But this is what we get. We get all types of pats on the heads and shit. Nothing tangible. So now Biden done showed up at some black barbershop. I don't know what city this is, but y'all Negroes ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Ron Jameson. Ron Jameson. See you, man. Pleasure meeting you. Why did you run in front of us playing a devil? I should have been all American. Hey, I would lay him down for you. How you doing? How you doing, man? I think he said something to him about being an all-American. This Negro so about 50 years old.
He said that if he were still playing football in Delaware, where he could have used him to defend him or cover. It was something to that degree. Like if he was the quarterback, he could have went All-American, something like that. Like again, you big black Negro. We need y'all. Like it was disgusting.
Right. Remember when he was at some hip hop thing, and he was talking about LL. He was like,
him boy.
This guy's so jacked. You see the arms on this guy? That's all they see when they see Negroes. All they see is BBC. That's what they see.
Literally.
Let me see.
My goodness.
Ron Jameson. Ron Jameson. See you, man. Pleasure meeting you.
Oh, my goodness. And they always use this barbershop trope. I get so offended by this, particularly as a barber. You know what I'm saying?
The barbershop, the black-owned restaurant, a soul food restaurant. Hillary Clinton came with her bottle of hot sauce and her purse. It's the same old. That's their black outreach. The barbershop, a soul food restaurant, and now the new one is going to Eric's house with some chicken wings.
Man. The barbershop so old and tired.
It's tired. And no one gives him pushback. All I see is a bunch of Negro teethers, a bunch of Negroes showing all their teethers, and no one is pushing him back on reparations, tangibles for the black community. I would call his ass out on what he said in that when he was talking to those Negroes. What do you mean? What did you mean when you said that white people are going to be the minority by 2040? Is that a problem? Because let's all tell it, we've been that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
Why are we doomed because of that?
Yeah, and to use the word doomed, like, what does that mean? What did you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
Right.
No one says anything. All I see is teeth.
How come every time they ask you about reparations for foundational Black Americans, you start talking about Native Americans? What's that about?
Because they already getting it.
Mr. Biden?
I'll be up there with my flashcards because, as a matter of fact, in the year, this year, as a matter of fact, as soon as your administration came in, y'all gave them X, Y, and Z. So why are we talking about reparations for them when they're already getting it? We're talking about the builders of this country, not the people that helped slave us and return us back to your ancestors. See, why are we having these types of conversations with him?
And ain't you the one that said you should be given double the time for crack cocaine than powder cocaine? Right. So what's up with your son? Why your son still running around there?
Right.
Ain't he a crackhead? I got questions.
You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between him being a crackhead and my uncle, you know what I'm saying, and my cousins being crackheads? They needed help too, but you chose to lock them up for life.
Man.
What the hell?
So yeah, the invaders, the minute they show up, they got all these privileges and access to resources that you and I can't touch. And I think my goddamn camera is about to die, y'all.
No.
I think my camera is about to die.
Charger in it.
It's plugged into the computer. I thought it would be charging. That's all right. If it dies, I'll just switch to the webcam.
All right.
I'll just switch to the webcam.
I want to talk about our brother Marcel for Congress, because you guys know that he's been stumping hard for reparations the last few years. And he, and along with our brother Black Alpha Network, you know, were out there on MLK Day, you know, at that church. Of course, they had their reparation signs, and you had those Negroes from the NAACP blocking them, saying that they couldn't go inside the church, they couldn't hold their signs, right? Anywho, so Marcel posted today, you know, on his Twitter page, he said, these Black elders, and I call them elders. When they talking like this, they're not elders, they're elders to me. So I'm going to correct that on here as I'm reading it. But these Black elders are calling for a meeting with Joe Biden to demand a call for a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. Not reparations, not an anti-Black hate crime bill, but a ceasefire for people thousands of miles away. Like, make it make sense. And I believe, you know, because they're showing, you know, some of these elders, not elders, but they're being led by Pastor Jamal Bryant. And Jamal Bryant, you know better. You down there in Atlanta, you know better. And also, Jamal Bryant is not a dummy. He knows history too. You know, so that lets me know that he's, you know, a paid shield, you know, for the Democratic Party, and he's leading these elders, you know, to demand ceasefire in the country or land we ain't nowhere near. That's not our business. Our business is reparations and tangibles for foundational Black Americans. And when you wear our uniform, that's all you need to be talking about. Otherwise, you're going to get shut down. I'm so disappointed. And I used to kind of like him, some of the things that he would say, but I put him on a goofy corner. Probably a couple years ago, I put him in a goofy corner because I started to see stuff. Yeah.
And he did the play that I was calling out some years back. This is what a lot of the shills were doing back in like 2016, around the time like when Hillary Clinton was running and shit. A lot of the shills like Charlemagne the God and different people like that, what they was doing was they was trying to get close to Minister Farrakhan. They had Minister Farrakhan come on the Breakfast Club. At that time, Jamal Harrison Bryant, he had a show on like the Gospel Network or whatever. He had Minister Farrakhan come on his show. Remember Tamika Mallory, the Women's March, they was kind of getting on her for going to the Million Man March reunion or whatever. And that was them trying to get grassroots support, because Minister Farrakhan has always been the litmus test for the dominant society. Right. If you Minister Farrakhan, then you can't get elevated in the media. You can't get elevated in nowhere in the dominant society. They're gonna excommunicate you based on your affiliation with Minister Farrakhan, or even somebody like a Jeremiah Wright or anybody like that, right? But Minister Farrakhan in particular. And so people like that, I was noticing back then during 2016, 2017, Charlemagne the God, Tamika Mallory, Jamal Harrison Bryant, all these people were cozying up next to Minister Farrakhan in order to gain our support and to gain for us. You know what I'm saying? But that fell flat. That didn't last very long.
One thing about Farrakhan, though, is he's always on code. You know what I'm saying? He's always going to speak on the betterment of Black society as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically said, you know, I don't think that he's saying vote for Trump, you know, but obviously when you're looking at policies and things like that, that we may benefit from, you know, maybe he may lean towards that way. But Farrakhan is also, you don't trust any of these politicians. Do for self. All we got to do is unite with each other, pool our resources with each other, and we don't even need their help. But since y'all not ready, you know, on a level that we should be at this point, then you definitely don't need to be voting for nobody.
No doubt.
Not that he said that, which he has not said that.
Xavier, I see you in the building, man. I appreciate you tuning in, man, getting some of this good information right here. This our young brother right here, man. I think what you in the 6th grade now, man? 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that.
Is that your client?
Yeah. Yeah, we had him on the show one time. He hopped on here with us one time. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you tuning in with us, man. Tell your grandfather and everybody else what's up too. But while you was on that topic talking about you know, like I said, we're not advocating to vote for Trump or nothing like that. But a lot of these people kill me, right? This brother right here, let me share my screen. This brother right here, I forgot exactly what he does, but he's in the music industry. He somehow tapped into the music industry. Some of y'all might be familiar with this brother right here.
Y'all hear me?
All right, I had to switch cameras. I still hear you. My battery died on my
Mine
camera.
going on too, so I'm plugging.
I had to switch cameras, but let me share this with y'all. This brother right here, Kenny Burns. I wanted to unpack what he was saying here because you know these people be thinking that they eating.
Right.
They coming on here trying to cape for the Democrats as much as they can, and they be thinking that they eating, but they really not. And so I wanted to break down some of this shit that he was saying here that didn't make no sense to me.
At the end of
So hold on. Again, I forgot what this brother does, but his name is Kenny Burns. He got like a little podcast thing or whatever the case may be, but he's somebody in the music industry. All right, let me play this. I forgot what he was even saying, so we're gonna go through it together.
Of the day, we have someone trying the lead front runner running for president of the United States in 2024. We have the lead front runner to become president of the United States, leader of the free world in 2024. He's winning in every poll. I'm gonna get to Biden.
So he's talking about Trump. He's talking about how Trump is leading in all these polls going into 2024 election. He's talking about how Trump is leading, right? So listen to what he says.
But let's stay on Donald Trump for a minute. He's leading. What type of America are we?
What type of America are we is the question that he's asking. If Trump is in the lead, because we all know, you know, Trump ain't shit. We all know Trump is an anti-black racist and, you know what I'm saying, all of these other things. It's true, right? And so he's saying, if this the guy that's in the lead, what does that say about us as a country? But to me, that's not the right question. The question should be, if this is the guy that's in the lead, what does that say about the Democrats?
Right.
If you have a guy like Donald Trump, who we know he got all of these indictments, all of these open cases, felonies against them and all of this stuff, and y'all having a hard time beating him, what does that say about the Democrats and how trash they are?
Right. And why? You broke up.
Me? I broke up?
Yeah. It froze for, like, you were frozen for a few seconds, at least on my end. I'm not sure with anyone else. It was frozen for a little second, but also to see that, you know, a lot of his Black support numbers has gone up. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know, we know how Black people have always voted Democratic. So like you said, the question should be, why are Black people no longer supporting the Democratic Party? It has nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the Democratic Party. People are jumping ship from that party because the party has been anti-Black. Our voices have not been heard. Everything that we've been saying and screaming, you know, for the last 5-6 years at this point has gone on deaf ears, except for when it's time for them to come out and need our votes, or when it's time for them to come out and fearmonger, you know, because remember, under Trump, they were saying that Trump is going to have us in a civil war. Well, we're talking about a civil war right now, and Trump is not in office. This has nothing to do with that, you know, but the Black people don't have that same smoke that they were having when they were talking about a civil war under Trump. So to me, everything that was supposed to happen under Trump is happening under Biden. And you have these same old idiots, you know, still talking about Trump, who's not even in office. To me, him still running and polling and stuff like that, he's not in office right now. So why is he a topic?
So they keep trying to convince us that he's still the boogeyman and that we have to fear Trump. And it's just not working anymore. Right. Because we're not dumb. We see Charlemagne and all these guys still trying to fearmonger us to death with anything is better than Trump. They still trying to tell us that Biden is the lesser of two evils, but we know that it's not. We know that Biden is actually, we know that Trump is actually the lesser of the two evils when we look at this illegal invasion situation that's taking place. That wouldn't be happening under Donald Trump. We know that Donald Trump is the lesser of two evils when we look at what's going on with the LGBTQ agenda and our
Right.
babies being bombarded with all of these weird agendas and stuff in schools and cartoons and everywhere you look. That wouldn't be happening under somebody like Trump, right? At least he would be pushing back against it. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at these different situations that affect us as a community that align with our morals based on our culture, then we have to be honest and admit that even though we're not Trump supporters, if we're talking about who's the lesser of two evils here, we inadvertently benefit more from a Donald Trump than we do from a Joe Biden all day long.
Listen, my auntie came over here Friday, and she came to pick up some of my FBA tea cakes. By the way, I made some. I gave her some, and so she started to bring up politics. Now my aunt is 70 years old, and she started bringing up politics.
Shout
and she
out
was
to
like, we gotta. She was like, and when you vote, you can't vote for Trump. We gotta. I don't like Biden either. She did that, but Biden is the lesser of the two evils. I said, you looking at CNN and MSNBC and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm not falling for that. And I literally sat her down and I just started breaking down everything. I said, so you tell me who's the lesser of the two evils. I said, because honestly, I'm not saying Trump is a racist. I'm not saying he's for Black people. I'm not saying any of this thing. And I brought up the border situation. I also said, has Trump ever written any law or bill that we, have been victims of ever in life? No, we haven't. And I had to break her down on that. And, I didn't do that. I said, well, that's the thing. They're not going to tell you that on CNN. All these people. And I'm like, my whole thing is we should be voting for tangibles. Whoever is we're going to benefit some way, specifically tangibles, obviously, but in the direction where at least we're going to benefit some. We don't benefit anything from the Democratic Party, period. But she tried to run the whole lesser of two evil things. This is just this past Friday.
They saying you breaking up. Well, somebody said you breaking up. You sound fine to me. Let us know if we coming through loud and clear in the chat.
Let us know.
Type of number 7 in the chat if y'all can see and hear both of us. Soulflow said Nyctee was breaking up, but you sound fine to me.
But she
type of
tried
number
to
7
run
in the chat if you can see and hear both of us.
She tried to run the lesser of two evils spiel on me on Friday. And I was like, no, ma'am, we're not going to do that. And like I told her, if Obama was in office and did what Trump did for us as Trump did for his people, we will be in a better space too. I'm not mad at Trump, for putting his people first. That's what any group is supposed to do. And when we see that, in all of these people in these, positions like those council people out here in LA, what were they doing? Blocking Black people, to forward their people and said it. Someone recorded it. Everybody puts their group first except for Negroes. Negroes want to get out here and show all their teeth. Jamal Bryant and those olders and Martin, what's his name? Waterhead, Martin. Yeah, Waterhead, what's his name? Roland Martin. I'm saying? Tamika Mallory, what's
Charlatan the fraud.
All these Negroes, they want to show teeth. They want, a show. Or someone to invest in their podcast. They want to be on TV. And then these same Negroes, like Tahaji, he was caping for the anti-Asians, crying now that they broke and they making no money.
And that's what they mean. That's what they mean when they say we. When they say that the Democrats are the lesser of two evils and we benefit more under the Democrats, they talking about themselves. They talking about the Black political class, the boule, the Black celebrity class. These are the people that benefit more because you got to remember the entertainment industry is ran by liberals. You know what I'm saying? So those are the people that write their checks, that green light they shows and their programs and all of that, get them their podcasts and all of that, give them the platforms and all that stuff. So when they say we, they're not talking about the Black masses. They're talking about their little cliques, the jobs that they're able to get. You know what I'm saying? The little crumbs that they able to get. That's what they mean by we benefit more under the Democrats. They ain't talking about us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, name that Angela Rye is doing the podcast with Dookie Man, Boo Boo Man. What was his name?
Andrew Gillum.
Andrew Gillum. Who listening to Andrew Gillum? The last time we seen this Negro, he was passed out on the floor with doo-doo stains everywhere with some white male prostitute that he paid, You know what I'm saying? Why are we listening to him about political anything, Mr. Boo Boo Man? I'm sorry, I'm not. No.
I want to talk about that in a minute, but let's finish up with this part right here, and then we'll transition into Andrew Gillum and Angela Rye and that little podcast thing that they got going on. But let me finish. Let this dude finish babbling real quick. Y'all bear with us for this babble right here.
What type of human beings? I don't give a fuck how much money you got. At some point, you got to have some level of compassion for humans. Let's take away politics. When you think about families that can't afford to live in the United States, when you think about homelessness with 800 abandoned buildings in every major city, and you ain't got nowhere to put them. When you think about
Black people are the most homeless.
So this is the thing that killed me, right? He's supposed to be criticizing Donald Trump here. He's saying what's wrong with us as Americans if Donald Trump is leading this race when all of these issues that he's bringing up are taking place. But who is ignoring our homeless people right now?
These Democratic-run cities.
These Democratic-run cities is the majority of the homeless Black people is at. The same cities where they're funding these migrants, giving them houses, jobs, money, food, Xboxes, air conditioning. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. While Negroes is sleeping out on the street. This is happening under the Democrats. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man?
He's given a plies babble, if you ask me, because these are Negroes who don't even like themselves and they don't like their own people because they think of their own people just like white people think of us, just like the dominant society think of us.
He kind of looks like Ebro too. Does he have a dual allegiance? Does he have a dual allegiance? I don't know what his background is. I don't know where his people come from, but he gives me old man Ebro vibes.
Taxes. You motherfuckers create money whenever it's time to go pay for somebody else shit. When you got to go give Zelensky.
Who gave a bunch of money to the Ukraine?
Right.
Was that Donald Trump or was that
Joe
Biden? He literally brought up Zelensky. You motherfuckers create money when it's time for somebody somewhere else.
But it's
time to
Trump's
give money
fault.
to Zelensky. Was that Donald Trump or was that Joe Biden?
But we dumb. His audience is probably predominantly Black, but he doesn't think of us as intelligent people. We're not free thinkers. We don't know how to think. We need him and Charlemagne and other people to think for us. That's what that is.
Oh man, let's try
to deceive us more.
Let's try to get through this babble.
And some money to fight one of our biggest foes. Oh, you're gonna find some money. When you got money to go over and be in Iraq for 20 plus years.
Was Donald Trump around 20 plus years or something? Was Donald
in
Trump
politics?
In politics that long? What are you talking about?
It's his fault though. Where are we as Americans? Where are we?
Everything that's wrong with the world is Donald Trump's fault.
Right.
Homeless people. So there's some things, but ladies and gentlemen, again, this is our front runner. Who are we as Americans? Because this is America. Right now, what you're seeing play out before your eyes, this is the new America. But who are you to have grown up in a system and society? I'm not talking.
What you say, Nyctee?
I say it's new now. America just became racist and greedy. And I'm confused. I am so confused. Yo. And he trying to sound deep too, y'all.
Right. He swear he eating. He eating down. He eating down. I swear I wish these niggas would bring me on their live. When they go live, I'll be in the comments. Bring me on here. Bring me on here. Because I want to shut this shit down so bad.
About systemic ails and unfair playing board. I'm talking about the motherfucking resilient motherfucking superhumans that get to it. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that find a way without a way.
I wish I could bring it back a little bit because right there when he was talking about, again, like I said, they referring to the celebrity class, right? Because he's saying something about, he was saying something to kind of dismiss racism. he was like, yeah, there's racism and all that, but I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about those of us who actually made it in spite of the racism. The ones of us that are superhumans, we made it through. So that racism didn't affect us. That's what he's saying.
What type of humans are you becoming? Because these are the ones supporting Trump now.
So right there, what he's saying, he's mad at his friends in the music industry, like Styles P and some of the other ones who actually are speaking against the Democrats and telling the truth about Trump not being a boogeyman. So that's who his grievance is with.
So can we say that someone has slid him a couple of dollars?
Absolutely.
Somebody done slid him a couple of dollars. I don't see him a lot at all on these social media streets, but all of a sudden that clip was making major rounds, so they gave him a little shine for going on here on a tangent about nothing. You know what I'm saying? He was doing a whole lot of babbling about nothing.
Yeah, right. Cry me a river. And look, Rick Ross said something too.
Yeah.
What y'all think about what Rick Ross had to say? Hold on.
I just got off the phone with one of my homies, and just make it clear, you vote for who you want to vote for.
Okay.
It's fine with me. But one of my homies, he was just like, boy, I can't wait till Trump get back in. Boy, he had a nigga eating. And I just don't want nobody to be delusional. You can't be a delusional nigga. Did he have you eating, or was it a nationwide, worldwide pandemic and you niggas stole the money? Did
So
you
niggas are
steal the
thieves
money, or was he having you eating? I'm just saying, that's y'all business. Toast to the hustlers, man. It's called delusional. You know what I mean?
Well, we know who did steal something. You stole the identity of Freeway Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to talk about thieves, let's talk about that. And then you didn't even look out for the brother. You know what I'm saying? After, stealing his identity to make up this, fake, facade about yourself. So we're going to talk about stealing. Let's start there. But I don't like the fact that, when Black people are coming up on something, it's because we had to do something fraudulent. Because that's how I took that comment. You know what I'm saying?
And what he's referring to is the PPP loans and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? One of his mans must have did some PPP hustle or whatever during the pandemic, and that's what he was referring to. And my thing is, ain't you kind of dry snitching a little bit?
Right.
Ain't you dry snitching a little bit? What kind of dry snitching is that, my nigga?
Man, I caught that.
Right. That was a little bit of dry snitching going on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, these guys, man.
The way that they view themselves, as the way that they view their own people. One, we're subhuman. Two, anytime we come up, we stole it, hustled it, or something like that, which there's nothing wrong with hustling. Stealing, that's another story. You know what I'm saying? I don't steal, but there's nothing wrong with a hustle. There's legal hustles out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the way that they kind of view Black people. And Black people people in general were eating under Trump because gas was a lot cheaper. Groceries went up as soon as Biden went into office. You know what I'm saying? Everything just shot up. So you do have people that can barely afford groceries now versus, almost 4 years ago, they were able $100 or $200 in the market was going to spread a little longer than it does now. So yeah. Niggas was eating when Trump was in office.
Now, I do want to say this too, because I think that's a BS narrative that a lot of people who are out here, some of the Negroes that are out here claiming they're going to be voting for Trump, and they saying because of the money, because the stimulus checks or whatever. Like, let's be clear. Black people are in the same position then that we are now. We wasn't, as a group, we was never in no better position, whether it was Trump, whether it was Obama, whether it's Joe Biden. As a group, we're still in the same boat that we've been in. So all of that, you supporting Trump because of the stimulus checks, that's cap too. You know what I'm saying?
But remember too, more businesses, Black businesses were started.
That's a fact.
Under Trump too. You know what I'm saying? Now, 4 years later, a lot of those businesses have gone down under this food that we got. Like, everything is, the math is just not mathing, as our sister Eve say. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, a lot of Black people had the wherewithal to take some of that money and go try to start a business.
Exactly.
But that doesn't guarantee your longevity and success in the long run. You're going to need support. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to that. And reparations is a big part of that. And we got to get ready to get up out of here soon. We going on almost on an hour and a half. We want to close this thing out soon. But I do want to bring up another story to talk about the main topic here as far as some of the migrant privileges. We got some migrant entitlement going on as well. We got a little bit of migrant infighting going on. And I thought that this story was a little interesting too. All right. So and we're gonna touch on the Bussy Gillum and them real quick too before we get out of here. But check this out. I don't know if y'all saw this. This Asian lady, I think it's in LA. I forgot what city it's in, but this Asian lady, she got a Mexican restaurant, I think in LA.
Oh yeah, I see it here.
West
yeah,
Coast.
That's it.
Yeah.
It is LA.
Has personally witnessed rude customers say, quote,
fair use, by the way, fair use.
"Why is a China selling Mexican food?"
And they look at me like this. How hurtful is that? Oh, it makes me tear. It hurt really bad.
Here in Southern California.
So I ain't even going to play the whole thing. I really just wanted to show y'all this, just to kind of show y'all how other groups get on code and gatekeep their own culture.
Mm-hmm.
When they see somebody from outside of their community trying to capitalize off of their culture, they don't support that in large numbers. In fact, they put up their own business to go in competition with them and try to get them up out the paint. That's something that we lack. That's something that we need to be more on code with. There's no reason why Asians should be controlling the hair care industry when Black women are the main consumers of all these products.
Right.
Black women should be running that industry. Asians should not be allowed to set up shop in our communities and sell no goddamn lace fronts, no eyelashes, none of that shit.
And mind you, in Chinatown out here in LA, there's not one single Black barbershop, Black business, nothing in Chinatown. It's all China people. Period.
Right. And when that's like I said, so when the Mexicans see this lady over here selling tacos, they like, the hell is this? They looking at her sideways. Like, oh, I ain't buying no tacos from you. I'm about to go get it right from this dude with the cart right now here.
Right. And they like that, period, here in LA. Period.
Right. Fact. So yeah, I ain't gonna play the whole thing. I just wanted to show y'all that real quick. But again, before we get out of here,
we got two more. This one and one more. I want to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery killers, I want to just end with that, I guess.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So yeah, we getting ready to close out in a minute. Just want to touch on these last two things. Appreciate everybody tuning in with us, man. Make sure that y'all hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Share this out on social media as well. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure that y'all subscribe to us right here on GodCast Enterprises YouTube channel, as well as Sincere Love to God on YouTube. And shout out to the Facebook family for tuning in as well, and everybody checking us out on the replay. But yeah, so Angela Rye, Andrew Gillum, and what's the other girl's name?
No, I don't even know the heifer.
Shoot, I can't think of her name. Somebody in the chat help us out. They got a podcast called the Native Pod, I think is the name of it.
And it sounds stupid. The name sucks. The name sucks. It wasn't catchy at all.
It's not catchy. It don't really got no ring to it. But what they doing is they trying to basically tether onto our narrative and our talking points.
Mm-hmm.
I seen when they was on I forgot this sister's name too, man. Another Vote Blue, no matter who sister that's on one of these.
Is that Jennifer Hudson? I think they were on her show. Was it Jennifer
No, it wasn't Jennifer Hudson. One, the pretty lady with the short hair.
I know what you're talking about.
Tamron Hall.
There you go.
Tamron Hall. Yeah, they was on the Tamron Hall show, and Tamron Hall was like asking them what the name means. And Angela Rye, well, lettuce and tomatoes on the side, shout out to Professor Black Truth, said she started talking about how, we do have, basically she was saying we have a certain connection to Africa, but really this is our homeland. This is our native land. We native to this land.
Isn't
And
she
that-
Caribbean?
I believe she got some Haitian ancestry going on. I don't know exactly where her people come from. I know she does have a grandfather that migrated here from Haiti on one side. I'm not too sure about the other side, but it was just a couple of years ago where she was talking about we all immigrants.
Right.
He was trying to convince all Black people that we immigrants too. We got to support all of this immigration stuff because we all immigrants, and this country was built by immigrants. Now all of a sudden we natives to the land and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Now they're trying to tether on to our talking points. They have to acquiesce to us because we are controlling the narrative, family. This is good. When we see stuff like that happening, we got to understand we could pop our collar because that's a victory. We are winning. We are controlling the narrative. We're not acquiescing to what they're saying. They have to turn around and start acquiescing to what we're saying because the truth is always going to be the truth no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there. But go ahead. What's going on with the Ahmaud Arbery case down there in Georgia?
So Ahmaud Arbery's killers get a March court date to argue appeals of their hate crime conviction. So this is going to go, it's going down in Savannah, Georgia. The three convicted of hate crimes for chasing and killing Ahmaud Arbery in a Georgia neighborhood in 2020 will have their appeals heard by a federal court in March. So the appeals case is going to be scheduled for March the 27th. So we definitely need to keep our eyes and ears out on this because, they try to figure out ways to not hold people accountable as it pertains to hate crimes against us. So we definitely need to keep our eyes and ears open on this case.
Absolutely. And so, Dan, man, another thing that we forgot that I wanted to touch on, and we really don't have time because we got to close this out. But shout out to Marcel Dixon. Last week he had an article in Newsweek. He did an opinion piece at Newsweek magazine, and I advise everybody to go read that piece, share that piece, use it as a talking point with your family when you're having these conversations with your family about the upcoming election and all of that. I mean, he hit all of the markers. Every single line in that article is a bar. It's no fillers in that article. Go check the Newsweek article out by Marcel Dixon. When we get off of here, I'll put it inside the description, as a matter of fact. So there'll be a link to it right here. But shout out to Marcel for writing that excellent article. Excellent they call it an opinion piece, but it's filled with facts. They said it's an opinion piece, but I heard nothing but facts all throughout the damn article. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's an excellent piece right there. Go check that out. Use it as a talking point for your podcast or for your conversation that you're having around the dinner table with your family members and all of that. Get your aunties and them on code so that we can make a real difference in this upcoming election right here and send a message to the system that it's no longer working.
Period. And I'll be working with his team. His team actually reached out to me last week. I will be doing phone banking for Marcel's campaign again. I did it before and I'm doing it again. He knows that I'm ride or die with him, so I will be on those phones. So people out there in South Carolina, you might hear my voice soon.
All right, family. So again, that about does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in with us as always. We will see y'all probably sometime this week, but definitely we'll be back here next Sunday for another episode where we catch up on everything that's going on in Black society. But if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you would like to have your business showcased on our channel, hit us up so we can get you on the schedule for the Black Business Showcase as well. Been a little bit slow so far this year. We're getting people scheduled for that. But I haven't really been going super hard reaching out to people to get them on either. So I need to step it up with that. But if you or anybody that you know has something going on, please reach out. Let us get you on the Black Business Showcase so we can let people know who's out there and how we can support them and all of that. All right. So remember, family, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.